Now let's go and see that what are the possible statuses of the work item. Answer for this question is the very first status is in preparation status. The second status is waiting. The third one is the ready status. Fourth one is reserved. The fifth one is in process. The sixth one is executed. And the seventh one is completed. And the eighth one is logically deleted. And the ninth one is in error status. Now let's understand what is the meaning of these different statuses. In preparation means your work item is created but it is about to be executed. That means and at task level conditions are defined. So once the condition is met, then only the work item is executable. For example, if you have a dialog work item, that dialog work item is created but it will be there in the user inbox when the condition is going to be met. So for example, here we have one, you know, workflow, and here you can see that you have the user decision step. In this user decision step, you have the condition. Here there is no condition, so no problem. As soon as you are going to execute the workflow, then it will move the work item will move into the user inbox. But if you specify some condition, then work item is created, but when it meets the condition, when it satisfies the condition, then only the work item will appear in the user inbox. Now the second is the waiting status. The meaning of waiting status means if you have defined the deadline monitoring, that means if you have defined for a work item to latest start, you know, here. So for example, you have defined some 2 minutes, 3 minutes, or 1 day, 2 day kind of time frame since when the work item is created or workflow is creation. So whatever you have defined the reference date or time, and whatever you have given 2 days, 3 days, this waiting criteria, till then it will be there in the waiting stage until and unless it will meet the given deadline. So till that time the work item will be there in the waiting status. Now the ready status. Ready means when a work item is there in the user inbox for execution. That is the meaning of ready. Means your work item, the given work item is there in all the user inbox and it's ready for execution. The reserved. Now the meaning of reserved status means if a work item has gone into 5 or let's suppose 10 agent, 10 user inboxes, one of them has taken the control over work item. That means they have double clicked on the work item and now the work item is being executed by that particular agent. So now the status of that work item will be reserved for other agent. In process means the work item, there can be several criteria for which a work item status will be shown as the in process. Let me show you. So here, if you go through this documentation, I will be giving you the link of this reference for the different statuses. You can go and see out the meaning of this. See, in process means if it is being executed by the actual agent, right? Or if the work item is waiting for its terminating event, or the execution is terminated by the actual agent, or let's suppose you have executed the workflow and at some task level when the work item is created, then whatever at the task level some method or business object method or class method is executed that gives dump due to some reason. Okay, then also the status of the work item will go into in process step. So until and unless workflow engine identifies the next step, till then the status of the work item will be there in the in process status, right? Just we have discussed about the reserved, right? So the work item has been reserved by a recipient and is therefore transferred from the status ready to reserve, right? The same we have discussed. A work item with status reserved is only displayed in the workflow inbox of the actual agent. It is no longer displayed in the workflow inboxes of any other recipient. So the same what we have discussed, right? Now let's go and see the another status is executed. So meaning of executed status means you know when work item is executed and not completed yet, you know. So when in the at the task level you have selected the criteria, right? You know that we have the different option, right? Here you can see that at the task level we have different properties. So if you have selected confirm end of processing, so in that case, you know, the work item status will be executed if you have not selected manually for completion. So just before completion, executed step is just executed status is just before the status of completion. So if you have not selected this particular, you know, property for a task, then your work item status will directly go into the completion status. Okay. But if you have selected this particular property confirm end of processing, then in that case, first it will go into executed. And once you confirm the end of processing, then it will go into the completed status. Logically deleted, such kind of logically deleted status. Let's suppose you have a fork. In fork you have some three parallel branches and one branch is mandatory. So any one branch got executed, then another two branch will be logically deleted. That means there is no meaning of you know those other two branches. Or if a work item is logically deleted, that means there is no significance of that particular work items. That's the meaning of logically deleted. Error status means if due to some if you got some error message, you know, in the program you have defined some error message, or if you have defined some exception, then in that case you will receive this error status. So execution of the work item was terminated with an error. Terminated with an error means if you received some error message or if you received some exception message like that. So this is what you have the different statuses. If you want to see the different, you know, symbol for different statuses, then you can see over here. For in preparation, you can see that completely transparent box. For waiting, you have here clock. For ready, you can see that this is how for the ready. For reserved, the flag will be there on the block. In process, half of the box will be there in the blue. Executed, almost all block will be there uh, in blue apart from some of the portion, and if it is there in the completed, complete box will be there in blue. So these are the different statuses and their corresponding symbol is there, you know, in is given over there. The very first is rhombus over here, and after that you can see that it's a kind of a block, right?